does it really cost a lot of money to start something?
If your company fails, on to the next idea. Like, you don't lose.
Presenting young and brilliant mind, Mohammad Pasha Khoshkebari from OutreachGenius.
So, hello, Pasha. Good afternoon. And thank you for coming to Tech Detonator Show for doing the podcast episode. So, I'll just give a little bit backstory on you. So, guys, he's a 17-year-old founder. Right now, he's in 12th grade. He started this idea of being a founder at 17 years old, like put into execution. I don't know when he thought, maybe when he was a kid. So he's put the wheels in execution when he was 17. And he has made a wonderful idea of Outreach AI. The company's name is Outreach Genius, and the website is outreach.ai. So I'm going to hand over the mic to him to explain about it. So Pasha, can you explain what is outreach and about the technical side of outreach? What is it exactly, what it does for the customers?
Yeah, so OutreachGenius or OutreachGenius.ai is a platform where really I can talk about one single product, but really the overarching idea is that we cut down the time that it takes for a salesperson to to find and sell to a lead. And what that means is we do every single part. So really there's 4 or 5 parts that go into finding lead all the way to selling it. The first part is finding the lead and getting information on them, constructing a list of people. Secondly, it's researching, learning about them. Thirdly, it's draft the email. Fourthly, it's send the email. Fifthly, it's monitor the responses, right? So, and then do it all over again. That's a lot of steps. And by the way, each step could take hours. What OutreachGenius attempts to do, and it is doing, is it does every step for you. So we have solutions like Reveal or Genius, and this is not publicly yet, but our Chrome extension software will have it too in the future. But it will be able to find all the leads you want and put them in a perfect CSV list, and then you can just transfer that to our software, to our products such as First Line or Full Email or really any of our message generation services. And that will generate, first off, research, learn about them, and then generate the first line or generate the full offer for them. And then lastly, we have we partnered up with Smart Lead, and we will be partnering up with other platforms to actually send out the emails for you and monitor the responses. So we do everything from the beginning to the end. We make it so that hours and hours of work can be literally done within clicks, 3 or 4 clicks.
Perfect. That sounds like a marvelous idea, especially the world is like now converting, it's getting awake about the sales. Initially, people were doing sales using the regular marketing strategies, but after these AI new inventions, you are literally like using the AI to your advantage with a new perception, and it's a breaking ground. I can say it's a new type of it's a modernization in the invention, right?
Yeah.
So you guys have used AI to ensemble all the strategies, and you are giving together as a package.
One of the
So
not to interrupt, but you're referencing a really great point, which is this is new technology, and that's exactly what it is. Now, obviously, we've had generative models for a couple of years now, but it's only been approximately 11 months since ChatGPT came out, and it became it really shocked the world, where we have the ability to create generative AI that's capable of making messages that are genuinely competitive with what humans can do. And since that has happened, since people like you and me can start developing technologies using it, it's been like the new gold era of technology, in my opinion. It's like the internet. When the internet first came out, and the technologies and the websites and the softwares that went on the web, it was groundbreaking, right? Just like when the iPhone came out, now there was apps that could go on the iPhone. We could interact with applications on your little device you can go anywhere with. And now it's a new phase where using generative AI, you're able to provide solutions that just you couldn't do before. unless you were huge companies, and even then they were limited. I mean, the models behind what our generative AI works today with, like transformers, which came from Attention is All You Need, those just got published in 2017, 2018. No matter how you look at it, this is groundbreaking technology, and Outreach Genius is one of the companies really spearheading it.
That's like a good point, and I'll come back later to it about this innovation of the chat gpt and then towards your company. So before we go into that section, I want to talk about you first. So as an as a just turning adult, it's actually, I to be honest, I would say it's not normal every day that you find a 17 or 18-year-old founders coming and inventing these good companies. So definitely there are, the phase is right now going in direction where people after graduating soon moves towards the startup phase. They don't want to get experience in the other companies, rather they want to invest their money and blood and sweat into their own company and build out up from the ground. So I would say on an average, every out of every 24 25 year olds, 20 to 30% people are going into the startup industry, and it's going to be increasing definitely. But it's totally not out of the normal curve that a 17 or 18-year-old comes and to the big stage and goes for creating a company and becoming a CFO and director of technology for that company.
Well, not
So
CFO, CTO.
CTO, okay, the CTO of the company. So let's understand the logic behind it. So how did you find this idea, and how it started cultivating in your mind to create a company on your own with the technology skills you have?
So, first thing, I was not aware that 20 to 30% of people were entering startup. I think that that numbers, I really don't know, but I'd assume that a significant portion of the population is going straight into university, and then even greater percentage of the population is going to companies where they can gain experience before they build anything. With that said, though, I do agree that the entrepreneurial mindset has really become almost the norm, right? Everyone has it. Everyone wants to make their own money because people believe that founders, right, they make so much because that's what they do. Founders are the people who make the hundreds of billions. However, I've come to realize that that's there's a lot of things missing from what the average person thinks a founder does. But with that said, before I get to any of that, I really want to preface anything I say with the fact that this is not a one-man team. I'm not a one-man team. I am the director of technology, but that means that I have a whole team of amazingly capable, from junior to senior level engineers behind me who are incredibly capable. Right? I, I, I'm so much more proud of my team than I am of anything else that OutreachGenius offers, because I know that with my team, um, we are capable of doing anything. Also, this means that my co-founder, David Owasi, incredibly talented, incredibly capable, and this could not have and would not have done as well as it is without him. So it's really important to note that you can't, or I honestly, yeah, you can't. You cannot just go and build a company with no experience. That's not what happens. And that's not what I did either. I had a whole team behind me. But even before I did that, I've been building projects for years. So that's how I got into OutreachGenius. What happened was really simple. I've been developing for years now. I've been developing almost every single day for years now. And what that means is I've built a long list of technologies and stacks that I'm capable of working with. This was important because it enabled me to work on projects by myself and really push to build solutions to existing problems. So that got me in the mindset of, okay, how do I provide solutions? I actually wanted to get a job. I didn't want to be an entrepreneur. I didn't think I could be an entrepreneur. I thought I need to get a job, and I really did. I tried to get jobs at, for example, Skip Dishes or Neo Financial. These were my dream companies to work at. But as I went to Tech Thursday, which is a networking event I constantly attend every single week, I came to learn that maybe I'm better suited to go for a leadership role rather than just a software development role. And with time, after months of learning and researching and meeting and learning from literally the best founders Winnipeg has to offer, and meeting my co-founder David Owasi, we basically just went, fuck it, let's build it. And that's exactly how it went. By the way, I'm not sure if I can swear or not. Okay, I probably shouldn't swear. It's okay. All right, cool. Yeah.
Perfect. So that is a great learning for all the kids growing up right now. But definitely out of the norm, becoming a full stack engineer and leading a team, it's a thinking that requires some budding from the stage years ago. So it you had a you laid a ground base years ago that led you to this path.
Precisely.
So
Absolutely.
when you were, definitely your family wouldn't be shocked that you were getting skilled at this age because you were doing it since years. But how was the feeling of everybody that you know that you were leading and going to start a company when you broke out that news for the first time? How would you say describe that? How what the people's reactions around you?
Yeah. So I noticed very clearly because it recently happened. I've been the co-founder of OutreachGenius for coming up on 7 months, but my classmates came to know 2 weeks ago, right? So what happened is the people who I love and are constantly part of my life, they knew before it even started. I was talking to them. I was like, I really want to build something. I think I have the capacity to do it. I think I have the skills. I think I have the idea, and I just need an idea. And then I came to um, find the idea, and I came to find the co-founder, and it was like, oh yeah, I was missing a lot looking back, but still, I knew I wanted to do it, and I was constantly talking to my parents. Right, my parents were like, absolutely, go for it. Go for it. Be cautious. Be careful. Don't be hesitant. Be careful with the steps you take, um, but go for it. And same thing applied to anyone else in my family who or in my life who knew about that. A lot of my great mentors, they were all aware. They always give me advice. I constantly pitched what we were doing, and then did small pivots, small changes, so that what I was trying to attempt or what I was trying to do actually aligned with what was firstly possible and secondly what could actually generate revenue, right? It doesn't matter if you have the best idea on planet earth if there's no demand. And I didn't know about demand, I didn't know about supply, I didn't know about all this stuff until I actually did it. My co-founder, or we did it. Yeah. What was the first part of the question? I actually kind of forget. I just keep on
The
talking now.
first part of was like, how was the reaction of people around you?
Perfect. Yeah, got it. And then okay, so 2 weeks ago, finally, I told my friends, or I told my teacher, who then subsequently told all my friends, yeah, I'm going to an investor event, and I had a suit on because I was going to an investor event, and that's how they came to find out. I don't think it's some people just aren't interested, so I don't see why I should really push them to learn about what's going on in my life. But the time comes when people find out, and it doesn't really make a big difference.
But so your classmates would have been a little bit in the awe, right?
Yeah,
That
some of them asked for jobs, and I was like, I'm not sure, but like, I guess I can see it, but like, I can look into it. But it's just it's a crazy energy because like, yeah, I'm in school, but right after school, I'm gonna go work at my own company. It's a weird mindset to have, but you live with it and you work with it.
being said, I have two questions about this entire question I asked you. So you said that you told about you told your mentors, and you were in continuous discussion with your parents and the mentors. Who would you think is your, like, you count as the main mentor? Obviously parents are there with you, your family members are there, your professor, or the whomever you're talking to. But who is your, like, technology mentor? Is it you yourself? Was it the technology, like internet itself, or was it somebody who's, sparked it inside you?
Honestly, there is no single person. There is a series of people, and I'm happy to mention them. Aside from my parents, that they're amazing people. My mom's name is Iran Natasha, and my dad's name is Mohammad Khoshkebari. And my brother. My brother was a big help too. With he doesn't do technology, but he taught me about basic ideas behind leadership skills. But outside of that, when it came to like mentors in the tech community, some people who really shine bright are Richard Tuck. He helped me a lot with really developing a finding problems and solving them effectively. And all of them did this, right? Paul Card, Gloria Tom, nice. I forget their last names. That's what I struggle with. Who else? There's so many people, because I constantly pitch, right? Like I constantly pitch. It wasn't one person, but I'm trying to figure out all the people who I did pitch to. I think I should stop the list there, because honestly, there's like 30 other people. And if I were to say every single person, like Andrew, there's just so many people on the list that if
Yes.
I keep on saying like 7 or 8 other people, and then I miss someone, I'm going to feel horrible. So I'm just going to say these are the 3 people who I constantly talk to on a daily basis. But there's a lot more people who I do also talk to really often about my ideas.
Okay. Yeah. So these were the guys that you met after when you were attending the Tech Thursday events, correct? So
These are the people. Actually,
yeah,
Gloria is, she's one of the women leaders in our community.
yeah. Well, she's one of the pioneers of the events in the Tech Thursday, and she on the startups in Manitoba.
Yeah.
So what would you say uh, about the second question I'm going to ask you is, after school you said you're going to straight go work for your own company, but
Yeah.
have you thought any other path for your own self, let's say for a longer term goal? What have you dreams for, like what do you dream for in parts of education and work itself?
These are good questions. They're loaded questions, though. My dream is to be an entrepreneur. It's to be a leader. It's to lead an amazing team of people to do what is considered impossible. What is considered impossible today, I want to do it. I want to make it happen. So what I'm doing right now isn't going to be too far off what I do in 10 years. I think I'm going to be doing it at a significantly bigger scale. But it's going to be the same idea. It's going to be the same idea of providing a solution to a really freaking hard problem. With that said, I am also preparing to go to university. Like that's something that I think that I could highly benefit from. I think the community, the people I'll meet, the inspirations I'll get, and also I've come to learn from doing a lot of research the last couple of years just how important it is that you really understand deep down how the technology works, like at a very at a binary level. Like how does it all work together? How can we make it so that the systems behind machine learning or all that stuff, the systems behind the generative AI that we use every day. And I'm coming to learn. I'm doing a lot of learning on my own, and I've been doing it for years. But I think that university is really going to give me an ability to do it, to learn at a depth I wouldn't be able to without.
That's great to hear. A little bit sneak peek into your mind. So now let's move ahead to your section of the Outreach Genius. We want to learn more about what you do at technological level in that company. So let's start from the initial level. When you thought out the plan, how did you think you would start uh, the you would start the technology part of it? How did you figure out that which way you are gonna go? Because there are certain ideas you map out roughly, and then you pick one of them at the base level, and then you grab onto that and you build entire thing upon it.
Yeah. So the first idea, the first thing that wasn't a company, it was a simple idea. It was, how can we use someone's LinkedIn information to create a sales offer for them? That was it. That was so simple, and I literally made the prototype that night. That night, I made it, and the next day I showed it to David, and David and I talked about it, and we were like, and David does this thing where he creates these documents, these 5-6 page documents that talk about the technology, the problem, the solution, how we're going to do it, the scale, how we're going to scale the bigger plans long. And I saw the document, and I saw what I built, and I was like, these two do not align. I mean, they're the same idea, but this is something I made overnight. This is something I made overnight, and this is something that is going to take us a long time to achieve. But we set out on the mission. With that said, 6 months ago now was a long time. I don't remember all the little things I thought of, but I can tell you that I struggled really badly trying to figure out what technologies I was going to use. For a long time, I've built projects by myself. I decide what technology I'd use. And you know what technology I'd use? I'd use the most simple and effective technology I could think of. It was React. And honestly, normally the database would be Firebase real-time database, or Firestore, or the authentication would be Firebase Auth, because it's just so easy. They're just right there, and they're free. And React is it's just the standard for the tech space, and the backend would be Node.js, because once again that's the standard, and it was just convenient, right? Conveniency. It was good, but I had never worked on a project that I would know would have to grow and scale and work on multiple servers and work in a way where I had never had experience with. So after thinking for a long time, right, like I was considering all the different systems, even when it comes down to, okay, I'm going to do a NoSQL technology. I'm going to use a NoSQL database. That's not a decision you can just make, but let's just say you just made it. NoSQL database. Okay, great. You use MongoDB or Firebase. Which one do you use? Because MongoDB has small benefits. It's slightly cheaper. It's slightly more the industry standard when it comes to like companies. But why not Firebase? Firebase offers authentication. It offers storage. We already had a system in place in Firebase. Why don't we just attach to that? These were all questions that I genuinely struggle with. Looking back, I don't struggle with them because now it's clear to me. But in that time when I had no experience when it came to real company level code, industrial level code, I talked to people. I talked to, once again, my mentors in the tech community. And I just came to learn to just trust myself. And I realized that the most important lesson this is the most important lesson I learned. It was speed and efficiency, right? Everyone talks about that. As a software developer, as a computer scientist, the only thing you can think of is speed. Something called a big O notation. It's how many calculations it takes to solve different problems. You want to minimize that. If something's x cubed, what the hell are you doing, right? Like, you got to bring it down. You got to bring it down to n log n, or linear time, or constant time, right? You want to achieve that. You always thinking of the most efficient way. Thus, when it came to a developer, I was always thinking about the most cheapest way, the most effective way, the fastest way. But the fastest way has two different meanings. The fastest way the software works, right? But also it's the fastest way we can develop that software. In a startup, it's not just about making sure the technology works really fast. It's about making sure the technology even exists. We had nothing. Our code base has 0 files with 0 lines on it. What do? Well, now we have thousands of files with tens of thousands of lines of code. So how do we get from 0 to this? And that is, you need to have a technology stack that is universally accepted, right? People need to notice. They can't join your team and have to learn from scratch. Secondly, it needs to be easy. The easier it is, the faster you can develop in it, the faster you're going to get a product up. It's all about getting the MVP up in time, because there's no point in putting 2 years of development, hundreds of thousands of dollars in costs, only to have a problem that doesn't solve it. It's only to create a solution that doesn't solve the problem. What you need to do is get an MVP up as soon as humanly possible and test it against what the potential users actually need or want. And then you guaranteed will have to pivot, and you will have to change some stuff. And once again, having a technology base that is well accepted, and you can configure it really fast, it once again gets you to the actual product that can sell faster. So in the end, you can try to think of, and this is something that, like, if I were to go back to Pasha, or like old Pasha, I'd yell at him and be like, stop thinking about the 15 cents you're going to save working with MongoDB versus Firebase, and think about the thousands of dollars worth of development costs it's going to take if you're going to choose a stack that the team isn't familiar with. So that's what I have to say about that.
That is great thinking and great learning for upcoming new developers and founders, obviously. Then let's say OutreachGenius.ai. It's using AI to actually harness the real potential of your product. So what in the AI, which type of technology inside the artificial intelligence are you guys using? If you can disclose, whatever amount you can disclose,
Yeah.
what it is exactly you are using
Hmm.
to harness the real potential and generating the leads as well as reaching out to them.
So it's very important to once again preface this what I'm about to say with the fact that our genius is 6 or 7 months old. That's a big deal because it means that we're 6 or 7 months old. We spent the first 3 months trying to figure out what we were trying to actually solve. The first actually 4 or 5 months, we were trying to figure out what we were trying to solve. So what I have today, whatever our genius has today and whatever it uses today, is I guarantee going to strongly differ with what we're going to use a year from now or 6 months from now. Really, 6 months ago we had nothing. 6 months from now we're going to have a lot more than we have right now. With that said, the technologies that we actively use right now are OpenAI's APIs. Specifically, we use 3.5 Turbo. We plan on using 4.0. These are simple technology. These are simple technologies that really get us to have access to LLM models as fast as possible. That's why we use it. Now, is there a possibility that we will carry on to find alternative LLM models and fine tune them? Absolutely. We will be using that at some point, and will we be using our own machine learning models to solve different problems that aren't there yet? Absolutely. We're actually already in the works. We're developing technologies that, given a person, given me, if someone can go and see my LinkedIn, all they see is my LinkedIn info. What we're developing is machine learning algorithms that can go past that. They can find everything that there's publicly available about you on the entire freaking internet. But you need, once again, you need machine learning algorithms to realize, well, is this you or is this just another person called Mohammad Pasha Khoshkebari, right? So, though we are currently actively using um, OpenAI's API, we plan on using a lot more very, very soon.
That is great. That is a good insight we can count upon for the Outreach Genius. Now, you said using all gathering all the data from all the resources. Are there any ethical considerations around this grabbing the data, collecting the data, and executing it? What are the ethical considerations that you guys have faced right now?
Yeah, so let's start with this. First thing is you cannot take. There's a lot of consideration. There's a lot of consideration. The first thing is you can't take data that you should not have access to. That's base minimum. You shouldn't be taking data that is private. So we don't do that, right? If it's publicly accessible, for example, LinkedIn or information, or a blog, or a podcast that you did, things like that. We use information like that, and we don't go whatever. I don't even know what we would use, but if it's not legal, we're not going to use it. That's the first step. Secondly, there are a lot of data that we do get. We get data on the users. So what do? We do not sell to any third parties. That's a very important step. All of our systems are kept behind our own databases, and there is literally no way to access them unless you are the person who put them there. And that leads to my third thing, which is my third step, which is every single system behind OutreachGenius today has a lot, and I mean a lot, of security built in. Authentication, multiple levels of authentication, whether it comes from our API, when it comes to our client side, to ensure that unless you are the person who put it there, put the data, like you have submitted the data there, you cannot be able to access it. And that we're only going to strengthen that technology.
That is amazing. I mean, that is some good level of thinking, and definitely in past couple of meetings we have heard that the security is very needed. It's a very necessary thing, and many platforms of security have been released. Say, let it be 2FA, is a secure form of logons are available right now on the platforms. So that's a great use of that. But moving past for the ethical considerations, how do you convince clients, like how do you convince them that you are the best thing in the market currently, considering the competitive landscape right now? Many people are offering other types of marketing or sales strategy or reaching out strategy. So how do you convince that?
It's a very, very, very good question, and it's a great question because it's a question that we still ponder every day. The battle to provide a solution that's unique is a battle that every single company will have to fight. especially because even if you were to find a unique technology, people are going to just, if you're successful, they're going to attempt to create a alternative product that's slightly better, right? That's just how capitalism works. It was something else I struggled, it's something that I struggle with, but I learned a lot from my mentors on how to do. So here's what Outreach Genius has done to really separate itself from its competitors. Let's start with this. First off, there's a lot of companies that don't use generative AI to create personalized messages at scale. Okay, but let's just talk about the companies that do, companies who are really competing with us. The first thing that we do is we have a varied source of information. This means that, let's just say a company has access to your Facebook. Great. They know what is on your Facebook. They know your name and they know what you look like. That's going to give them a little bit of information. Or let's say an alternative company has access to your LinkedIn, right? Your LinkedIn, a lot of information there. But once again, the only information they have access to is the information on your LinkedIn page. What we at OutreachGenius differ in is that we get information from a lot more. We get your LinkedIn information, but we also get the articles you were on, but we also get the podcast you were on, but we also get your personal website, but we also get your company info, right? Your company website, your company info. What did your company do? Why is it important that I contact you? And that rhymed. So that's what we do. That's the first thing. We differ in where we get our data from. Secondly, one of the biggest problems, and by the way, I invite every single person who watches this podcast to go sign up for free on OutreachGenius.ai. It's completely free, 200 completely free messages that you can generate. So you can just go check it out and see for yourself what I'm about to say. But a lot of companies generate these messages and they're crap. They're shit. They're shit because they're so obviously AI generated. They're just not well executed. You can have a problem that another company is also trying to solve. Like that, it's okay to have the same problem, but you must have better execution. You must provide a solution that's genuinely better, and that's what we do. We don't just say, "Yeah, we're also providing this." No, we're providing this, and we're working with the best salespeople we can possibly get our hands on, and we're saying, "Hey, use this for free. Go ahead. What are your thoughts? We'll pay them. What are your thoughts? How can we work with? What can we change about this to, first off, make it as capable as your personal message that you send out that you spend hours on per user? How do we make it equal capacity?" And we've gone to so many important pieces of advice, and that's why we have made the decisions that we have made. If you whatever our agency is at right now, if I were to come back in 2 months, all the differences that we see are because salespeople are constantly going on our software and telling us, "This is too long. This is too long. This is so obviously AI generated." Great. We'll cut the length. We'll cut the way it complements. We'll cut the way it talks to you. We'll change the tone. We'll give you settings on the way you want to talk to people. We will give you settings on how you want to contact them. We'll give you settings on who are you, how you want them to feel. All these things are implementations that ensure that, yes, we're trying to solve the same problem as someone else, but our solution will actually get you the clients instead of pushing them off. And thirdly, we have capacity that other companies, we have technologies that other companies just simply don't, right? We have the ability for you to put information, you can put a pixel on your website, and anyone who goes on your website, we're able to track them. And thus we have like the perfect list of people that you should be sending out emails to. They're going on your website. They're obviously interested. Make this sale happen. Also, we work with LinkedIn, right? If you want to do if you want to use generative AI at scale on LinkedIn, we can also do that. So really, our Genius differs because it does so many different things at a higher level. It's not just that it does the same thing; it does it better, and we will keep on making it do better and better until we just physically cannot anymore.
That is nice. It's a little bit shocking, but a learning curve. It's what you explained, all of those things. I think there are a lot of things, a lot of people would, after they know you, would also try to create the same thing. So there is also that fear that comes up when you are growing and scaling up, that many people are gonna try and catch up to you and try to beat you on the way there.
Go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
go ahead.
I highly stress you to do that. If you can execute better than we can, and you can develop at a faster rate than we can, then you deserve it more than we do. Right? You earned it. Good job, you beat our team. But that goes right back to the first point. There's a reason why I'm confident, is because I have an amazing team who's incredibly capable. And what we developed today, um, we've done it all in months, not years, in months. We've developed technology that just didn't exist before. So if you think you can do a better job, go ahead and try that. But we will work our ass off every single day to ensure that we stay the best.
That's the chin up attitude that people want in their leaders. And talking about this philosophy of your attitude with being a leader, that's a separate side that is to you. But being a person in a regular life, let's say when I meet you regularly in the on the weekdays during the Tech Thursdays events or your investment summit, you I have figured out that you are a very humble person, ground related to earth person, down on the earth. But being a person in your position, sometimes it really takes up to your brains, and people get egoistic a little bit. They get attitude a little bit. How do you manage yourself? Do you feel sometimes superior? Do you
No,
feel sometimes superior? No. How do you manage to keep that feeling inside you?
you can have humility while still having confidence. Simple. You can understand, and you can accept, and you can say when someone has done something amazing, and when someone is capable of doing something better than you. Right now, I'll do it right now. David Owasi, right, my co-founder, he is incredibly capable when it comes to making the sales call and selling the product. I think I do a lot of sales. I love selling. I love selling ideas. I think that's one of the reasons why I try to be a leader, because a leader sells their company to their employees. I sell a lot, but I accept the fact that no, I sell, but David has been doing it for years, and David's incredibly capable. And at the end of the day, if it came down to it, David will make the sale if I couldn't. So I'm confident in my ability to do something, but I have the humility to accept the fact that someone else can do it better than me, and that's okay. Um, the same thing applies to development, right? Every single person in my team is incredibly capable, and there's this thing where no one in my team has a what I would say is like just a generic role. No one goes, okay, I'm a full stack developer. That's it. No, I am the designer. I'm the best designer our team has to offer. I'm the best researcher our team has to offer. I'm the best architect our team has to offer. So every single person has a role that they specialize in. So that means that when it comes to developing technologies, I don't need to go, oh, I know more than you guys. No, I accept the fact that no, when it comes to designing, like you're better than me. What do you think about this, Maxim? Like, what do you think? Or when it comes to architecting and scaling, I go, Paras, what do you think? When it comes to researching, I'll be like, I'm not going to research it myself. I'm going to go, Dennis, please try to figure out what this actually means for us, and let me know your results. And I'm going to trust whatever you tell me. And that's what I think. I think if you have a team that you genuinely believe in, there's no reason to have a superiority complex, because you should believe that everyone on your team is more capable than you. You want to be with people who are better than you.
That's a great example of being a leader right there. And that said, I want us the main reason I wanted to invite you on this podcast and further the team of Outreach Genius, because the courage that you guys have shown in just past 3 or 4 months, the actual development you guys did, also the coding, but the mapping out of the idea, you have all done it in 6 months, and the actual thing coding you done, it's like what, last 1.5 month, you
A
can say
lot,
the
yeah.
actual.
We've
Yeah,
really accelerated development within the last 2 months. Yeah.
yeah. So, and definitely mapping out the idea is one of the tough parts of uh, creating a company path. So the main reason was glorifying the courage that you guys have shown, because it's tough. People when they want to start something, they're afraid they would need a lot of money, they would need a lot of time, blood and sweat, but that the sacrifice that they are afraid to give, that if nothing happens, what will I do after 6 months or a
Yeah.
year? So how would you say, does it really cost a lot of money to start something, or at least to make a workable model like you guys have done it? How how not tough it is
Yeah.
when you have thought through it?
There's so many things I have to say about this. Firstly, on a personal level, if your company fails, fuck it, on to the next idea. Like, genuinely, that's my mindset, because you don't lose. Think of it as tuition. You pay 100. You pay, even in Canada, you pay over $100,000 over the span of 4 to 5 years if you're living away from like a house. Um, you pay that for tuition so you can learn things at university. Great. Do it with a company instead, or do it with a company too. And if you spend anything, or you spend your time, okay, but now you know what it means to run a company. Now you know what it means to solve a problem. Now you know what it means to lead a team. There's so many things that now you know. I just couldn't. There's no way I could go talk to old Pasha and be like, here's all the things you need to know. No, the only way you can know it is just go through the path. First thing. Second thing, don't worry about developing. Development, this is actually Chris Reed, co-founders, Neil's co-founder, Neil Financial's co-founder. He told me this, and this is incredibly important. Stop trying to develop it. Stop making it. You, as engineers, because engineers are generally people who have the capacity to make things. The first thing you want to do is make things. Don't make things. Just wait. No, don't wait. Research. Learn about what you're trying to solve. Instead of having a brilliant idea and just wanting to make it, okay, take that brilliant idea and actually look at the market and say, is there a genuine demand? Do people want this? If there is a demand, if the people do want this, are there companies who are providing the solution? I'm not saying that by the end of doing your research, you should give up on your idea. I'm just saying that it's a lot easier to do your research, figure out what the gap in the problem is, and solve that, than it is to solve the problem, figure out you didn't solve the actual gap, and then basically restart or do another 50% of the work, right? Like, that's a very base minimum. So the first thing, don't develop, research just a little bit, just figure out where your market is. Second thing, if you're low on cash, there's so many solutions. We live in Canada right now, and living in Canada means that there's a lot of money here. So, okay, there's a couple different ways to go at it. First thing, if your idea is good enough and your plan of action is good enough, investors will pay you, will fund you before you have anything, will pay you to make the company happen, make the idea happen. If the idea is good enough, they will do it. That's the first thing. That should be like your goal. If my idea is good enough, people will pay me to make it for them. And then I still own the company. Secondly, make a Figma file. Make a Canva file of the potential product. Show it. And Figma is amazing because like you can have like almost buttons. You can click a button and it goes to take you to the next page. Great. Make that Figma that you can literally make in like 3 hours. And then talk to people about it. Show people it. And then make them sign up. Don't just give their opinion. Get them to sign up. Put their name in. If they're willing to sign up, if you're doing research and within a couple of days you have 200 people who are signed up, your idea is good. Your idea has genuine demand and people want it. Even better, and this is really good, even better, I forget what it's called, but make them pay for it. So sign up, but you pay $5. But here's the thing, you'll have beta access. You'll have access before anyone else. If they're willing to pay for that, if 50, 100 people are willing to pay for that too, you have the perfect idea. But here's the special part. You'll know if your idea is amazing. But if your idea isn't good, then you'll also know immediately. Like it's a win-win. If you just hold on development and rather focus on pitching and presenting your idea and getting people signed up and do the sales, you will not need money. You will simply get the money in the process. And people don't know that. People genuinely don't know that. Like, and if you don't believe me, go talk to like any founder from the city you're in or the community you're in. They're going to tell you exactly what I told you. They're going to say it's very hard. Yes, it's very hard. But it's a lot easier than, I don't know, getting a loan from a bank, self-funding it if you don't have money. I mean, if you don't have money, there's no option. There's no second option. Just do it.
Perfect. So That was an amazing learning for all the upcoming developers or who are pivoting to think that they want to start leadership role. And I would like to end on this note. Let me know if you agree with it, Pasha. Fail on bigger things every time. Don't be afraid of failing, but rather fail at bigger things than the last time you did. So that marks your progress. It's not that you're failing, but you're progressing on upwards. Fail upwards, right?
Yeah, fail forward, fail forward. Like really embrace life. Like fuck it, on to the next idea. Like that's my motto. If something doesn't work out, fuck it, let's go to the next idea. There is no path. Like I don't. For me, if my idea is a leadership role, right? I don't fail once and then go, okay, well, I guess I want to be a doctor now. No, no, I failed once. Now I'm gonna try it again with a different solution, with a different problem. I'm gonna see if I can make it that one happen. That's how you go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So thank you very much, Pasha, for coming to the show and gracing us with your wisdom.
Thank
I
you.
hope
I don't think I'm that.
with me, many other people learn a lot of big deals from this thing. So thank you very much for coming, and I hope you have a great evening.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks so much.